Hi guys, this conversation's with Coley, but this one's a little more lighthearted. It's based off a movie. I wanted to get your thoughts on the movie Castaway. If you haven't seen it, it's from like 2000, and Tom Hanks plays in the movie. I think his name is Chuck, and he basically works for FedEx, and he's taking a company flight from FedEx, and the airplane crashes. He ends up being stranded on an island alone. While he's on the island, he learns how to fish, he learns how to make fire. He also, makes an imaginary friend. Well, he finds a ball, a volleyball that floats onto the island, and it's a Wilson ball, so he names the ball Wilson. He draws a face on it, and he puts like some little weeds to make hair, and so the ball is like his friend, like he talks to the ball. And while he's there on the island, the whole time he's thinking of his wife. Like he has a locket with her picture in it, and he's just thinking of his wife the entire time. Okay, so he's on the island for what we later find out is 4 years. One day there's some debris that floats on the island, like pieces of a porta potty, and just he gets some limbs from trees and he makes a raft. So he eventually leaves the island on the raft, just down on his luck because a big storm hits, and Wilson rolls away in the water, and he like tries to jump in the water to swim for Wilson the ball, like he's acting like it's a person. And Wilson floats away, so he goes back to the raft, and he just feels like down and out. There's a whale, I think, that blows water on him, and that wakes him up to realize that there is a ship passing by. So he eventually gets rescued. Now here's the thing, this is the part that I wanted to know you guys' opinion about. So like I said, he was on the island for 4 years. Everyone thinks he's dead, right? Everyone thinks he's dead. So they're amazed that he's there. He comes back, he has to do like he's on the news, whatever, and his wife is supposed to meet them there, but she doesn't show up. But her new husband shows up, and he's like, what, he's taken aback, whatever. So like later that night or another day, he ends up going to her house, and like she's awake, it's just them, and they're talking, and she's married and has a baby in 4 years. What? So of course, Tom Hanks is taken aback, and so am I, because I'm like, isn't that kind of quick? So he he's like, dang. And so she has saved his car that they used to ride in, so she gives him the car. She gets in the car, and he's getting ready to drive off with her, but she tells him to stop. And he says, oh, I know, you have to go home, right? So she goes back to her family. Now mind you, the new husband is what I believe they said was the dentist. So it's like, have y'all been plotting this out this whole time? Because what? So nonetheless, he accepts that, okay, it's over. I need to move on with my life. So he eventually, towards the end of the movie, or at the end of the movie, he's at a crossroad deciding which way he wants to go to start his life over again. But I wanted to know your thoughts. Do you think 4 years is soon to already be married and have a baby? Like, that's kind of crazy. Now, granted, the wife did tell him that she wanted to keep looking for him. Like, she did not want to give up, but everybody was telling her, give up, it's over, he's gone, he's dead. But she wanted to keep looking. Okay, so I'll give her that, but 4 years seems kind of quick to already be married. So you courted someone, got married, and have a baby in 4 years. I don't know, that's kind of crazy to me. What are your thoughts? I know the men, I know you're gonna say like, heck no, that's trifling. Um, Me personally, let's say from the position of a woman, and I was the one stranded on the island. I would need to know that you did everything you could to look for me. Like, but I already know how guys are. Y'all will have a new boo. See, that scenario is a little more realistic for men, because I think men, well, I know men who love their wife, pastors, as a matter of fact, who love their wives so much. Oh my gosh. And then as soon as they died, within like a year and a half, they already had a new wife. What? Where has she been hiding? Because what the heck? Whereas women, I don't think we would move on that fast in that circumstance. Will we move on fast if you're cheating or something? Yeah, heck yeah. But like, move on that quick? I don't think under those circumstances a woman would typically move on that fast. Um, but what are your thoughts, man? What do you think about that? You think she trifling? You think her and the dentist been already? I mean, she seemed very dedicated to Tom Hanks. Like, but I mean, how did you? That was quick. Was she grieving and that's why she moved on? How was she able to move on so fast, guys? Would you be able to move on that fast? Drop a comment. Let me know. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Would you move on fast? Would you feel some kind of way if your boo thing moved on that quick? Let's say you're the wife. Let's talk from that position. Are you staying with the new husband or are you going with your old husband? Because she's like, I love you. But she has a new baby with the baby was like little, like 1 or 2 years old. So like, she can't just leave. That's tough. If I were the wife, oh man, that's tough. That's tough because you thought he was dead. Like they had a funeral. They didn't have a body, so they just put pictures in the coffin, but they had a funeral, so she thinks he's dead. And then he shows up alive. So, gosh, that's tough. I don't know if I would even, that's tough. I think what helped though was that they both agreed to go. You know what I mean? I think that Tom Hanks decided to leave, so that kind of helped because if he stayed around, that would be awkward and weird. I don't know. But what are your thoughts? Drop a comment, let me know. Let's talk about it.